Anthony Joshua says that Oleksandr Usyk is just as good as Tyson Fury. So in this interview with Sky Sports, he says, I don't want to point any fingers. I was definitely ready. We move forward. And by this, he's talking about the undisputed fight that never was against the Gypsy King. He says, I've got another challenger who's good, just as good. I have to be serious about him now. He will definitely step up. He will definitely take the fight. That's what I need. People who are serious. I would have loved to have boxed for the Undisputed Championship because it was a big fight for the public. We had everything set up. I have to move forward and not keep dwelling. The most important fight for me is the next one, but you have to have a vision of where you want to get to. I have to stay consistent and stay ready. Once I fight Usyk, who knows what will happen next? Will I fight Fury, Wilder, Dillian Whyte, Andy Ruiz, Luis Ortiz? Who knows? I have to stay on track and ready for each fight, but have a long-term plan. It's about the belts, not the person. I don't mind who it is. I want to fight for legacy. Okay, so those are the words of AJ. Now, what do you guys make of him saying that Usyk is just as good as Fury? Does he mean that? Does he really believe that? Is that just a dig at Fury? Or is it a way of him trying to motivate himself? Is that all it is? Because the emotional come down from the undisputed fight falling through might impact on a fighter's next performance if they're not careful. So if they tell themselves, well, this guy's just as good, then it helps them maintain that mindset that they're going to need to perform to the best of their ability. You understand what I'm saying? So it could just be that. It could be a dig, or it could be all of the above, a bit of both. Because Tyson Fury has said more than a few things about Anthony Joshua over the years that were less than complimentary. And he said many things which, in my view, were unfair about Anthony Joshua. Has played down Anthony Joshua's achievements. So for AJ to come out and say something like this, particularly after the undisputed fight fell through in the way that it did, because it wasn't AJ's fault. For him to come out and say something like this, I personally think is fair game. Because Tyson Fury, as I say, he said more than a few things like this similar about AJ in terms of trying to play down the level of AJ's opposition. Fury's done that loads of times. Remember when he was going to fight Deontay Wilder the first time and to a lesser degree the second time? He was constantly banging on about we're the two best heavyweights in the world. That other guy doesn't matter. He's just some bodybuilder. The guys he's fighting, he was always insinuating like the guys AJ's fighting are no good and it's only him and Deontay Wilder that matter in the heavyweight division. So for AJ to come out and say, well, he's not saying that him and Usyk are the best in the heavyweight division. That would be the exact equivalent of what Tyson Fury did with regards to him and Wilder. No, he's saying Usyk's just as good. Now, all that aside, do I think Usyk is just as good as Tyson Fury? And getting back to the question, do you guys think he's just as good as Tyson Fury? Well, I guess the circumspect answer would be, it's too early to say, because Usyk's only just stepped up from cruiserweight. So we have to see him fight the top heavyweights to be able to really know if he's in the same league as Tyson Fury in this weight class. But I guess the answer is in what I just said, at least from my perspective. Because until we know, we can't give him that credit. So I'm not going to step out and say, yes, he's as good as Tyson Fury at heavyweight. He hasn't proved it. So that's not a statement that I can co-sign at this point. At cruiserweight, of course, fantastic. Undisputed champion, beat everybody, did it all. But at heavyweight, he's still got it all to prove. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about Anthony Joshua's claim that Oleksandr Usyk is just as good as Tyson Fury. Why is he saying this? Is it just to motivate himself? Is it a dig at Tyson Fury? Or is it something that he genuinely believes? Leave a comment.